You didn't say the wrong thing. You didn't mess up the date. You didn't do anything obviously wrong, but she pulled away anyway. Here's what most men don't understand. Women don't lose interest because of what you say. They lose interest because of what you don't do. It's the silent behaviors, the subtle patterns, the things you think don't matter, but they matter more than anything you could ever say. Because attraction isn't built on words, it's built on energy, presence, and how you make her feel when you're not even trying. Here are 7 silent behaviors that make women lose interest fast, and most men have no idea they're doing them. First, you wait for her to lead every conversation. You match her energy. You wait for her to text first. You let her decide when to meet, where to go, what to talk about. You think you're being respectful, giving her space, not coming on too strong. But what she feels is indifference. She starts to wonder if you're even interested. She starts to feel like she's doing all the work. She starts to pull back to see if you'll step up. And when you don't, she's gone. Women want to feel chosen, pursued, valued enough that you'll take the lead sometimes. Not controlling, not overbearing, just present, intentional, engaged. When she's always the one initiating, she doesn't feel wanted. She feels tolerated, and tolerated is not attractive. Second, you agree with everything she says. You think you're being supportive, easygoing, conflict-free, but what she experiences is no backbone. She shares an opinion, and you nod. She suggests a plan, and you go along. She tests your boundaries, and you have none. You've erased yourself to avoid disagreement, and in doing so, you've become invisible. Women aren't looking for someone who mirrors them. They're looking for someone who complements them, someone with their own thoughts, their own preferences, their own spine. Agreeable is comfortable, but comfortable isn't compelling. She doesn't want to date herself. She wants to be challenged, intrigued, surprised, and if you never push back, never offer a different perspective, never stand for something, she'll lose interest in the echo. Third, you're always available. She texts at midnight, you respond immediately. She cancels plans, you say no problem, and wait for her to reschedule. She needs something, you drop everything. You think this shows dedication, reliability, that you care. But what it actually communicates is you have nothing else going on. No life, no priorities, no boundaries. And that's not attractive. That's suffocating. Women are drawn to men who have their own lives, their own goals, their own friends, their own pursuits. Not because playing hard to get works, but because a full life is magnetic. When you're always available, you're not a partner. You're an option she can pick up whenever it's convenient, and people don't value what's always waiting for them. Create space. Have your own rhythm. Let her wonder what you're up to sometimes. Scarcity creates value. Not game-playing scarcity. Real, genuine, I have a life I love scarcity. Fourth, you avoid making decisions. Where do you want to eat? I don't know. Where do you want to eat? What do you want to do tonight? Whatever you want. You think you're being considerate, flexible, but what she hears is, I don't care enough to have a preference. Decision fatigue is real, and when she has to make every single choice, where to go, what to do, how to spend time, it's exhausting. She doesn't need you to control everything, but she needs you to lead sometimes. Pick the restaurant, suggest the activity, make a plan, and own it. Even if it's not perfect, the act of deciding shows confidence, initiative, that you're willing to take responsibility. Indecision isn't humble, it's passive, and passivity kills attraction faster than almost anything else. Fifth, you never share what's really going on with you. She asks how you're doing, and you say, fine. She asks about your day, and you give one-word answers. She tries to go deeper, and you deflect with humor or change the subject. You think you're being low maintenance, not burdening her with your problems, but what she feels is shut out. Intimacy requires vulnerability, not trauma dumping on the first date, but real, honest, human vulnerability. Sharing what you're excited about, what's stressing you out, what you're working through. When you keep everything surface level, she can't connect to you. She's dating a stranger who never lets her in, and eventually she stops trying. Because intimacy isn't built on perfect presentations. It's built on letting someone see the real you, the messy, complicated, still figuring it out you. Sixth, you always fish for reassurance constantly. Do you still like me? Are we okay? Did I do something wrong? You think you're communicating, being open about your insecurities, but what you're actually doing is making her responsible for your self-worth. She becomes your emotional validator, your therapist, your constant source of reassurance, and that's exhausting. Confidence isn't arrogance. It's not needing external validation every 5 minutes to know you're enough. It's being secure enough in yourself that you don't need her to constantly affirm your value. Insecurity is human. We all have it. But chronic neediness, that's a weight she can't carry. Work on your relationship with yourself first, because no amount of her reassurance will ever fill a void you haven't addressed. Seventh, you stop putting in effort once she's interested. In the beginning, you planned dates, you asked questions, you made her feel special. But once she showed interest, you relaxed, you stopped trying. You assumed you'd already won. You think the hard part is over, that you can coast now. But attraction isn't a destination, it's a practice. She doesn't lose interest because she's fickle or because she met someone else. She loses interest because you stopped giving her reasons to stay interested. The attention faded, the effort disappeared, the energy shifted, and she's left wondering, was it all just a performance to get me here? Consistency is everything. Not grand gestures every day, but continued presence, continued curiosity, continued intention. The moment you stop nurturing attraction, it starts to die. Not because she's high maintenance, but because she deserves someone who doesn't check out the moment she checks in. Here's the truth. Women don't lose interest randomly. They lose interest for reasons, and most of those reasons are silent, behavioral, things you're doing or not doing without even realizing it. But here's the good news. Every single one of these behaviors is fixable. You can start leading. You can develop opinions. You can create boundaries. You can make decisions. You can be vulnerable. You can work on your confidence. You can maintain effort. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present, being intentional, being someone who adds to her life instead of becoming another thing she has to manage. Attraction is built in the quiet moments, in the consistent actions, in the way you show up when no one's watching. If any of these hit home, drop the number in the comments.